My next role at Tulsa Little Theater was as one of the newsboys in Gypsy, my favorite musical. We were only in the first act, along with Baby June and young Louise, but we had to stick around for the curtain call. Gypsy is a long show. So to kill time during Act 2, all of us would climb the narrow stairwell up 2 flights to the costume room, where they also kept the monkey and the little lamb, both of whom were also idle in the second act. We would throw on layers of various costumes, Dickensian sack jackets, World War I khaki breeches and canvas-wrapped leggings, feathered Elizabethan hats, a crown of thorns from the glory of Easter pageant, multiple gloves, and play strip poker. We were all 10 to 13 years old. I was the youngest, but we considered ourselves veterans and were, after all, in a show about stripping. 5-card, 7-card, hold'em, stud. We shared cigarettes pinched from adult actors' dressing room stations and enjoyed an occasional nip of something stolen from Baby June's parents' liquor cabinet. I'll raise you. I call. My jacks beat your 10s. Strip. The girls always chickened out when it got down to our regular layer of clothing. Baby June was a tease and little Louise a bore. But strangely, the boys usually stayed. One night, long about time for the show-stopping finale, Rose's turn, the game had siphoned down to me and 2 kids named Daniel and Jason. As the 3 of us bedded in and for our Fruit of the Looms, I couldn't help but notice that Jason, who was 13 years old, was getting a conspicuous erection. There was a big difference between a 10-year-old penis and a 13-year-old penis. Growth spurts, pubic hair, and hormones, and all kinds of other things are kicking in. I was entranced. And determined to win so that Jason would lose and have to drop his skivvies. I had 3/8. Daniel folded. It was me and Mr. Boner. I forged poise, but the excitement was overwhelming. The monkey could sense the tension and began screeching and throwing monkey shit out of his cage. Jason asked for 2 cards. I called. The room stood still, and a rivulet of sweat itched down my cheek from beneath my crown of thorns. He had a measly pair of prophetic queens. Strip, I said, and waited breathlessly to see if he would remove his clinging briefs or quit the game. He casually pulled them off, exposing a huge penis, 13 years or older otherwise, though I have not seen it since and don't know whether to attach the "your childhood house is always smaller when you go back home" theory to his experience. He then proceeded to masturbate in front of me and Daniel. We were agape with jaw-dropping wonder. Then the backstage speakers were blaring, "Everything's coming up, Rose! Everything's coming up, Roses! Everything's coming up, Roses! This time for me! For me! For me! For me! For me!" On the timpani roll before the last note, Jason worked harder and faster, finally erupting at the same time that Mama Rose hit the final "for me." On the musical cutoff, Jason lay spent as the audience cheered and applauded from downstairs. I nearly joined them.